You have arrived, Ashley. Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Andautonia. You know what is Andautonia?
We're here to find out. We know it's Roman time.
It was a Roman town. It was the most important town in this area in the Roman period, where today we have Zagreb, the capital of Croatia. And we know from archaeological excavation it was a huge town with all the things that we had in other Roman towns. But what you can see here is just a part of the town, and everything else is still under the earth.
Now, when you say a huge town, how many people are you referring to during the time?
We don't know that exactly,
okay.
But we know that the center of the town was about 1 kilometer to 500 meters. And thanks to new technique, new methodology with geophysics, and so we don't have to dig everything. So we have the picture how it looked like, the streets where we're going, and so we know more now than we knew 20 years ago.
But you also have the exhibition here as well.
Yes, we don't have real museum here, but we have a kind of museum. We call it Interpretation Center, and because we cannot show the original things we found here, we had copies here. But we wanted to show it in the context of scents. So to show, because for the Romans, the perfumes, scents, it was very important. It was not like today. They were putting perfumes also in food, on their animals sometimes, the rich people. Then they used it on the dinner. So it was. So we wanted to show the copies of the pottery, of some things we found, and connect it with the scents. So to show how it was important in the Roman. So you can touch everything, you can smell everything, and we also have some not very nice smells. It was not always very nice.
Yeah.
So please, you can enter here.
Okay. So what do we have here?
Here are some things that we're using in kitchen. We also know from our archaeological excavations, from analysis of the plants we found, what they were using. So some things we know, and you will also see in our other kitchen that we made reconstruction on the other side. But here you can smell, so you can see they used almost the same things, most of the things that we are using today.
She did say we could touch, so
you can touch.
Do you think that smell has perhaps evolved over time? That in those days, some of the smells that we might think today are like really horrible were kind of acceptable in those days?
Yes, I think that it was more sweet. We don't like today, I think, sweet, but the one of the most appreciated smells were a rose. So the rose was very expensive, the oil of rose and these things. So they also put in food sometimes also some smells, because and you know, for garum that we're using, it was a kind of that they add to the food. So it is made. We have it so you can smell it. It's a fish that you put in the sun, and then you
grind it up, or no?
You made a liquid from this.
Okay, yes.
And it has special.
Pulp
yes, yes.
Pulp. Yeah.
And they made it in Spain, so because they had lots of sun there, and also there were some other ways to do it with cooking, and we did it also at home. So and we have it here, so you can smell it. It's not something that maybe you want to put it today in the food, but then and then they were using honey a lot, so they put it in wine, and so that's sweet that they were using.
So when you're looking out here at the town, are you able to depict what any part of it was during Roman times?
Yes, we are trying. It's not so easy because...
You mean you don't know everything?
No, we don't know. We know that this was road here, and it is very complicated in archaeology because it was town and it has lots of phases. So from the 1st to the 4th century. And here where we are standing, 2 meters down, it was in the 1st century Roman cemetery. So we find graves from that period. Then
Wow, guys, imagine what we're walking.
then the town changed, and then they rebuilt it, and they built some buildings here. But then with wars, and so we have 4 phases on the side. So what we have here, it's very difficult always to find out what was really which room was for what purpose and so. But we think that this big building was used as therme.
So you can use your imagination.
Yes.
So you guys, what would this be? Let's be creative here. I mean, we are dressed in the time, so it can be whatever we want it to be.
There were some kind of columns over there, weren't there?
Yes, here, so this was the road, and this was the archway, and so the people were walking here. We have the reconstruction there. You can look at it and see how it looked like. So.
Oh, okay.
And how long does it take for you to excavate all this?
Here, the excavation started in 1980. And it depends of money, so you can do it very quickly. You have lots of money, but it was about 20 years for digging here, and because also we wanted to make archaeological park, and in these climate conditions we have, it's very important to make our conservation of the walls. So it's also a huge work to do in
but you have to be very careful when you're doing the excavation.
Yes, of course.
Okay. And how long did people live here? How many hundreds of years?
400 years, the Romans, and then we don't know, and then later, after a few centuries, we again have, but never a town like it was before, with sewage and everything. Now people don't have sewage here and water, so it's in Roman period they lived better here than yes.
They were.
And then it was for Romans it was very important position because it was on the very important road. So that's why they picked this position. And then in 4th century and the beginning of 5th, when it became more dangerous, then they moved to the hills. And so today Zagreb it was founded on the hills, and this was not used anymore.
Did you say that this was a settlement? It was a proper settlement. It was a city of some kind.
It was a city.
So
yes.
how come they kept on? You mean they kept on importing? Is that right? Importing fruit and importing wine? Really?
Yes,
okay.
we know it also from, for example, from pottery we found. We have some local pottery that was made here, but also some that we know that was made in today Italy or in France. Oh, right. So we can follow this, and it is everywhere. It was like this in Roman world, so they were traveling and importing things.
Now, what part of this can we walk on? If we were to walk around and explore a bit on the outskirts?
We can go this way.
Okay, let's walk around a little bit.
Sam predsjednik udruge Andautonia koja se nalazi ovdje u Scitarjevu, koja ima ovdje svoje sjedište i evo, drago mi je što ste došli do nas i nas posjetili i još ću vam nešto pričati o našoj udruzi, o našem djelovanju.
Let me shortly present myself. I'm the president of the Association of the Romans, people who cherish Romans cultural heritage. This is our seat. This is where our association is, and I will tell you something more about us. Our goal is to enrich all the events that are going on the archaeological site and make them more approachable for all the people. You have heard the archaeological side of the story. Now you will see what we are preparing in this association.